Welcome to the freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Oh, hey folks, dude here, coming again another glorious occasion of Dude After Dark. This one, of course, being post-presidential election 2.0. What can I really say on this one except for maybe, well, there's really only one way to say it, and render honors. All right, so essentially now what we have ourselves here is a second iteration of the Trump presidency taking place. Good stuff like that there. Now, is there anything on the other side of the aisle that will be, well, those guys having their moment of umbrage? Yes, there will. Liberal shitbag. And so they've been smited. No other way to say it other than, well, they've been smited. Yeah. Sound guys, stop smiting them so much, okay? Because we're dealing with the liberal shitbag. And of course, post-election, okay, so they're really not happy. I could just simply drink a glass, a cup, nay, a big honking cup of Dicky juice. Let me just get the baseline adjustment here. Tiggy juice, half and half. Nah, it's going to require something more. We got to celebrate properly. So we have ourselves a big honking bottle, not the bitty bottle, but the big honking bottle of Elijah. Yes, I think Mr. Elijah will be applied appropriately. Why? Because bourbon in coffee is just freaking excellent. By the way, I commend this to you. This is a particularly tasty variety of small batch Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Yes, of that one, I think I drooled a little bit. Using the official 80s podcast channel Chopstick, I shall stir thusly and thus rendering our beverage properly mixturated to absent companions and good futures to all of us. I wish nothing but the best to our current resident at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Donald John Trump. Sir, kick major ass, of which you haven't already. Numerous news stories. Stand by this one. Oh, that makes the cup of coffee just nummy. Excuse me 1 second here. Had to go in for seconds. Now, the kind of really cool thing is, obviously, those of you who do know and utilize appropriate beverages, I'm really kind of a fan of Irish whiskey. And anytime I'm going to get a cup of coffee and I Irish it up, oh yeah, it's definitely going to get some nummies. Bourbon, yeah, bourbon's good shiznit. All right, anyway, let's get into the lame and the really depressed now. I got to get into this one, okay? This one is particularly, well, I got so much stuff on my page right now. You know, it's almost ridiculous, just redonkulous. Scrolly. Uh, mm, Supposedly Hunter Biden's house was one of the ones affected in the California wildfires. Uh, yeah, sure, great, cool, whatever. Not worried about it. There's been other. This is actually a two-parter, but um, this one's going to be like twice mentioned on my timeline. But I'm gonna do it twice just for the hell of it. Truth Press is now saying that there's now some notations because people are now sparking speculation that the Obama couple could be heading for divorce amid notable public absences. Um, I'm simply going to say when a man loves a penis, the other man has a penis. Both of them see the need for another penis other than the penis they already have. There's been numerous speculations on the mannish features therein of, Michelle. Now, if you guys do actually happen to catch this later on, I will not regret it in the slightest if you guys watch my stuff in review, because I know sometimes life goes on. You guys are seeing tons of stuff going on. Obviously, Tuesdays there's tons of things to do. But if you guys decide to hang out, on Tuesday, I'm sure appreciate your kind attentions. And let me jump right back into it. But I just want to mention that real fast and furious. I don't know if you guys heard about this or not, but another YouTuber who's been a buddy of mine for the longest time. We've actually done good stuff in I've sent him items notably I actually sent him a tasting of potentially stuff that he just didn't have access to. So literally it was a uh jar of Vegemite, a jar of Marmite, and a jar of Bovril. Bovril is essentially basically like this, brown liquid goo that the Brits use in place of bouillon. Obviously, Marmite and Vegemite are also brown liquid goo. But the thing is, the Bovril is made. It's basically liquid beef bouillon. Now, Marmite and Vegemite are actually made from yeast. What they normally do is they take the yeast, they put it under high pressure, and then they just decompress them really fast. And the yeast just go pop. So they can release all their protein and whatnot. And people use it in place of meat. It's like supposedly it's a vegan spread. Well, yeast are animals, okay? So they're not really being vegan. So good stuff like that there. So I sent it down to him, and he did a tasting video, and he's done every kind of potential, hey, what are we eating, kind of videos. And dude truly does cook some interesting spam. He is a total spam fiend of the highest order, canned meats, other stuff like that there. Kind of a redneck culinary expert, shall I say, resides a few hours south of me, and generally a very exceedingly epic dude. Patreon viewer, appreciate you coming on by, dude. So truly a genuinely epic dude and a YouTube friend, like I said. So the problem is somebody hacked his stuff, and then they hacked the associated email account or Gmail account or whatever it was that he was utilizing to access his YouTube / Google AdSense and all the rest of that, fun, folderol, channel management, all the rest of that good stuff. So they basically hacked his channel, they hacked his email, and then in the process of doing that, they locked him out. So that channel is now gone. And the situation is that he actually has generated a new channel. So he now has a new channel cranked up, and it is The Wolf Pit. Actually, hang on one second here. Let me keep myself honest. Hang on one second. Let me mute this up so I don't have like an autoplay. Give me 1 second here. So now previously it was Wolf Pit, or The Wolf Pit. So now his new channel is called, I'm waiting for it to decock, Wolf Pit Food Reviews. So if you literally go to that channel, it will be The Wolf Pit, and it's Wolf with an E. So The Wolf Pit Food Reviews. If you could go to him and watch him and give him some brotherly love on the YouTube type stuff and check him out, it would be absolutely epic on your part. Like I said, Larry basically, his name is Larry Wolf. And he has long-term health issues. So literally the YouTube channel was helping support him and pay for the things that he needs to pay for. And literally that was a money producer for him as a second stream of income. And some jackball busted in there, took his stuff away from him, locked him out, and really, really uncool. So if you could go to the Wolf Pit Food Reviews and check him out, I would truly, truly, truly appreciate it. If nothing else, watch his videos, like his videos, subscribe to his YouTube channel, and give him the support that he requires to run his numbers back up from the previous, where he had a ton of subscribers. Now he does not have a ton of subscribers. He's rebuilding his channel. And in that vein, we are trying to give him some brotherly love and good stuff like that there. So if you could check him out at your leisure, the Wolf Pit Food Reviews. Thank you so much for your time on this one. It is not a commercial. I'm not paid for doing this at all. It is simply me giving support to a brother from another mother on the YouTube Spam Associated group. Oh, there's a Spam Associated group. This is fun. Patron favor, you missed it. I did add some yumminess to this. My coffee can't be coffee without coffee on such a celebratory thing. So some Elijah Craig did happen to fall into my coffee cup. So you missed that part probably, but it's yummy now. Excuse me 1 second here. Adult beverages. Too good for words. Scrolly. This, I don't know if you saw this one or not, but this is going to be one of those sound guy. How would I say this without saying this? Let's just see. How would I say this without saying this? And you're looking at the same thing I'm saying. How would you say? Okay, Trump's inaugural picture is the mugshot. So this is literally well, how would you say it other than saying it for what it is? It is literally well, I don't know if I could clean it up any more than just simply saying it is a
you asshole.
It's most definitely a bleep you a-hole. But anyway, what he did was he took that picture and the FU for trying was profound. So to use his mug shot pic to then state this is the inauguration picture that's going to be utilized. So the official inaugural portrait of Donald John Trump making his historic return to the Oval Office has been revealed just days before his second inauguration. The striking black and white portrait captures a defiant, steely-eyed Trump with the unmistakable aura of determination. I think he was saying most clearly, well,
you asshole.
Yeah, I think it was saying bleep you a-holes. Most clearly he was saying that. Anyway, so looking on also on somebody that's really truly a piece of scat, shall we say, this guy, this friggin' guy. There's no other way to say it except for simply saying, what is the issue with this guy? Well, this guy is literally a piece of utter disgusting monkey puke. No other way to say it. He's just completely disgusting. So anyway, this guy is a notable, and I do mean completely notable, piece of pile of how do I really want to say this except for saying this for what it is? Well, he's a disgusting pile of monkey puke. That's all there is to it. So, a Washington Post Pulitzer-winning cartoonist who is stridently, and I do mean stridently. Let's give it a second. Have some leftovers on there. Stridently, a hard-charging, left-hard pile of monkey puke. So, this guy, this friggin' guy. So the guy's name is Darren Bell. A Pulitzer Prize-winning cartoonist whose work has been featured in prominent newspapers such as the Washington Post, has been arrested on charges of possessing child abuse material. So CSAM, I guess that's now what they're calling kid porn, graphic images, and it really gets bad here, folks. So the guy was busted. Why? Well, because he was possessing pictures, either real or computer generated, shall we say? Okay, I don't like using the Alpha India phrase if I can avoid it, But anyway, so they were either real pictures or alpha India generated. So shall we say the letter A and then the letter talking about the I? So those two items in concert, either one of those things, either real pictures or computer generated of children in, let's just say maybe not age appropriate activities. Okay, let's just leave it at that. So this guy literally was doing this stuff, and he was a beyond snarky cartoonist trying to do all kinds of untoward things against the people that he saw fit to basically make his targets. Well, he got busted for doing these things, and it's going to prove out to be quite interesting because, well, he kind of looks like a creep to begin with. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens to this guy in the long run as he's found out to be doing unscrupulous things potentially in his head with images of children. Yeah. Oh, Patriot favorite. Yeah. Yeah. The kind of the unhappy expression on Joe Kaka and Kamala's face during the time when Trump was being sworn in. Ooh, was rather choice. Just give me a second here. I got more juice. More juice with adult beverages. Never a bad thing. Coffee and booze just work, man. It really does. I think this one is going to be potentially one I'm going to have to really try to clean up here. But this is going to be my statement, my 2 cents this day of watching California burn. So, anybody that still lives in California is a rube asking for his own demise. California residents pay too much, get no assistance by corrupt, inept deviants, then are seen as the font of monetary gain by the socialists. Then, by extension, you're the problem they need to address by furthering leftist causes, encouraging the slighted to seek money and unlawfully, but air quotes, justified rights reduction for those they seek to place under them in social strata. F Chuck, California. I've been there once. I landed and stayed in San Francisco. At such time, it was only half the S hit hole it is now, then versus its current status. And frankly, I never feel the need to return ever again. Scrolly. Got a bunch of memes here. So this one, of course, being the preemptive, shock and awe. Trump plans 100 immediate executive actions. Here's what could be coming. Yahoo News was absolutely losing their. They were just. They were pooping themselves, and that's being nice. They were just. Okay, sound. I know it was not meep meep. It was that time in the bathroom where they were completely losing their
You sick little monkey.
Yeah, you are a sick little monkey. Beep beep. Okay, thanks. At least he's not starting up with other stuff. I mean, there's always a time when sound guys stop. Exactly. Please. Anyway, so sound guy acting up yet again. Let's see. Scrolly. I've been having too much fun with the memes, and I really can't play half the stuff that I have on there because I can't talk about half the stuff I have on there because, it's I would just say it, sound guy. It's more than a little bit. Is it? Is it just more than a little bit? A little bit.
Wow! It's spicy!
Okay, no. Anyway, So yeah, it's really spicy. That's stuff I just can't take out of the room or can't put into the room, shall I say? Mostly because if I do these things, things will get really, really wrong. Okay, getting into what Joe Kaka pulled off, and Joe Kaka pardons 5 family members just moments before Trump's swearing in. It gets better, folks. I mean, this is kind of really interesting the way that they waited to the absolute last second to do this. So Joe Kaka pardoned his brothers, other family members on Monday, just moments before President-elect Donald Trump swearing in. Biden pardoned his brother Frank, his other brother James, James's wife Sarah, his sister Valerie Owens, and her husband John Owens in one of his last acts as president. Okay, that's really fine and good, but that's not really how things are going to work out because it really is just kind of like the blatantly obvious. If you haven't been charged with a crime, you cannot be pardoned, pre-pardoning, pre-disposition, pre-sentencing, all of it. You cannot place a pardon upon that person. Excuse me 1 second here. Old Elijah Craig is tasty tonight. Anyway, scrolly. I mean, I saw it or not. There's a $1 million, probably the better part of like huge. I mean, it's absolutely massive. This thing looks like it's at least 15 to 7, maybe 20 feet tall. But there's a a statue that's been done of Donald Trump, fist raised in the air after he'd just been shot in Pennsylvania, doing the fight pose. And it cost $1 million to do. People paid for it because they really wanted to see this thing, and it will be on a tour ahead of his inauguration. Scrolly. I don't know if you're about this one or not, but supposedly from truthpress.com, the IRS head was forced to resign 3 years early as Trump prepares to drain the swamp. I think the IRS is not going to do really, really good right about now. Speaking of things that are completely jacked, and well, California, yet again, fire in California is now starting to engulf the world's largest battery plant. Folks. So let's put this in perspective here. The firefighters won't even go near that thing. So evacuations and road closures begin as fire engulfs the world's largest battery plants in California. So a massive fire broke out at the California power plant early Friday morning, threatening one of the largest battery energy storage facilities in the world. The blaze began in the building containing lithium-ion batteries hours earlier. Official the Monterey County Sheriff's Office told the BBC. Locals report the massive toxic battery plant fire is next to the Elkhorn Sloth Wildlife Reserve. The emissions may have a devastating effect on birds, fish, and other wildlife, including sea otters. So this is called the Moss Landing Power Plant. It's run by Vista Corporation. It was evacuated, as were people in the surrounding area. No injuries were reported, but officials are not actively fighting the fire, the Monterey Sheriff spokesperson said, and instead leaving the building and batteries to burn on the advice of fire experts. I don't know, maybe because lithium fires, when you add water, they just, they become... No, they don't become monkey feces, sound guy. They just get, no, they don't chime. They do not chime, okay? They, they do not break into the time-space continuum, okay? That is not how that one works. It is just simply, no. It's bigger.
And thing sucks.
Okay, so I think if you're the fire guy trying to put that thing out with water, yeah, you're not gonna have a good day, okay? You're simply gonna be going
No zone.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be definitely going into the no zone. Yeah, you're definitely going into the no-no zone, okay? And you're definitely going to be the
You.
okay, I don't know about all that, but
Around and find out.
okay. Anyway,
Fatality.
I do not know about the sneeze fart, but sure. Anyway, so they're not even going to go near that thing. Batteries are important for storing electricity, such as renewable energy sources such as solar electricity or solar energy. But they erupt in flames. The blazes can be extremely difficult to put out. In a fire area, they put lithium batteries. Wow. Quote, there's no way to sugarcoat it. This is a disaster. It is what it is, Monterey County Supervisor Glenn Church told KSBW TV. But he said he did not expect the fire to spread beyond the concrete building that it was enclosed in. So the North Monterey County Unified School District announced that all the schools and offices would be closed Friday due to the fire. Not because of like a forest fire going on, but because they had this huge lithium battery plant getting ready to go friggin' bluey. Wow. I don't know if you guys heard about this or not, but General Mark Milley's portrait has been removed from the Pentagon. It was only just unveiled 10 days ago. And there's reportedly other stories about General Milley, so stand by on that one. Scrolly. There is a list of the presidential actions that Trump signed on day one, and it gets there's like 40 in this list alone. I mean, I could literally read them point by point, but man, I would just be here just reading and 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 reading. Let's just say he's doing a lot. This one I think is very, very interesting yet again. This one, of course, getting very, very personal. The cleansing has begun. Pissed off Democrats tell you this means something big. Just give me 1 second here. So getting into the article, which is now quoting over from truthpress.com. Quote, first day in office is not over yet. My presidential personnel office is actively in the process of identifying and removing over 1,000 presidential appointees from previous administration who have not aligned with our vision to make America great again, Trump wrote on Truth Social shortly after midnight on Tuesday. This guy really, truly is the latest iteration or possibly the best definition therein of the Energizer Bunny. This guy literally just like he gets up, he starts going, he does not stop. And I don't even know when he had an opportunity to grab something to eat, but let's just say when Trump gets going, it's like a tractor trailer rolling downhill with no brakes. Getting it back into it, quote, let this serve as official notice of dismissal for these 4 individuals with many more coming soon. Jose Andres from the Presidential Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. Mark Milley, Reed Lake General. From the National Infrastructure Advisory Council, Brian Hook from the Wilson Center for Scholars, and Keisha Lance Bottoms from the Presidential Export Council. You're fired. So General Milley, a former Trump military advisor who later headed the Joint Chiefs of Staff, was summarily pardoned by former President Joe Biden during his final minutes in office as the Democrat attempted to shield members of the administration from reprisal by Trump. So Milley formally advised Trump before declaring him a quote-unquote total fascist before he left office. Okay, if you guys don't know this, when you're in uniform, you fall under not just civilian laws, but you fall under the UCMJ, or the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So, while it might be perfectly okay for you to bed hop as a civilian and do what will, all these other things, if you do that as a military guy and you're doing it with somebody else's wife, you can be charged with doing something naughty with somebody who's not your wife, or doing it with somebody else's wife. You can find yourself up on charges like back in the good old days, because those laws have not changed. Now, usually what tends to have happen is you'll lose rank, you'll lose pay, you'll get what's called office hours, basically, so a non-disciplinary form of punishment, and non-judicial form of punishment, and you basically can find yourself like basically playing janitor doing all kinds of other really, nasty scut work. You could find yourself working literally in the food canteen. Literally they can do whatever they want to with you as long as you're not falling under any harm, but your life is going to suck. You could lose a stripe. You could lose pay. Any of these things they could stick you with, they could do under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, because literally you're standing in front of the commanding officer, locked in attention, going, "Sir, yes, sir, I was this, that, and the other thing, and I screwed up badly, sir." And he's going to go, yeah, you did. Yes, you did. And bye because of that. And yes, therefore, I shall use you like a Muppet. So anyway, under the UCMJ, as a uniform officer, you are not allowed to talk smack about your commanding officers in public on the civilian side of things. You simply just say it in private. If you do, you better make sure that they're cool people along with you, and they're not going to go, "Yeah, well, so-and-so was talking about blah, 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 the commanding officer, and this, that, and the other thing, and he was talking really bad smack about him, and I have witnesses to say, yeah, that's exactly what he said." That's the kind of stuff that can really light your ass up. You do not do that. Patriot Fever, can Millie be reduced to latrine duty with his tongue for a brush? No, but they could reduce his ass in rank like a step or two and make him a lieutenant colonel rather than a multi-star general. They could really stick him for his pension. They could really, really stick him for all that stuff. And since he did it while he was under uniform service, notice he was still in uniform, was wearing the stars, wearing the billboard, all the rest of that fun stuff. He is liable. And it's not just they go, "Okay, you were naughty, you were bad." Bad. No, they literally could light him up. And if they reduce him in rank by a couple notches and say, "This is your new pension, you've been reduced in rank, you get a other than good discharge, or you get a dishonorable discharge," bye, you lose all of it. Also, he possibly, potentially, and I'd very seriously doubt, but they could stick him in the clink. Just give me 1 second here. I would see, since he was in, he could basically find himself standing in front of a military tribunal, and they go, "General, you were naughty. General, you were an idiot. General, guess what? You're not a general anymore." And they would knock him down a couple notches, and they would say, "Guess what? You're no longer a general. You're a late colonel." Translation: you're knocked down 3 or 4 steps in your rank structure. You've just basically lost yourself a couple $1,000s a month. Deal. Oh, yeah, Patriot Fever, I'd vote his pension. No, I'd vote rank. Because if you basically attain, I don't know how many steps he's gotten right now, but let's just find out real quick here. Let's just find out real fast here. What rank is General Milley? General Milley is so the rank is, he's basically a general. He's got 1 star. Okay. You got a lot of steps to fall if you're just a 1-star general. And if they make him a late colonel, ouch, that's gonna hurt. If they make him a captain, that's really, really gonna hurt. Because you basically halved his pension. Now, there's an old saying in the military is, once the general becomes a general and gets that first star on his shoulder, you become a politician, because then you're basically working the side of trying to earn rank, and you're working the side of trying to get the in with the government, because once you get out as a civilian with military background, you then have that auspice to become a civilian contractor. Now, also the other thing too is, because he's a general, he's got security clearances. Well, the stories come out now. 51 of those guys that signed off on the Hunter Biden laptop story, they are losing their security clearances. So he's lost his clearances, meaning he can't go into a lot of places. And if he does go into those places, there's going to be like, okay, you can go to this room, but you may not go beyond this room to that room, and you may not look into that room. You will no longer have access to these areas because your security clearance has been removed. So while they might actually talk to him about stuff, they really can't go, okay, here's the new knowledge about that stuff. The only thing that you can rely on is the stuff stuck in your brain pan. And oh, yeah, You better not disperse that information with anybody but a government entity in certain areas, or we're going to hang your ass and put you in the clink. Because literally, once you get that security auspice, you're trusted to not talk about certain things. And once you lose it, you really don't talk about certain things. So potentially, he's really hosed right now. And as much as they tried to prop him up and say, "Oh, you're so brave," golf clapping, you're so brave, oh, you're so courageous, oh, you're calling Orange Man bad and a fascist and all the rest of this happy horse stuff. Dude, you should have kept your lips zipped and you shouldn't have said squat. He did it to himself. Calling him a total fascist. Insiders told the Daily Mail that the purge would likely include nearly all the officials of the undersecretary and assistant secretary levels, which would effectively hollow out the department's top 2 floors. Career diplomats generally enjoy a carryover between administrations, but the White House indicated on Monday that Trump will firmly break away from that past policy. Quote, under the president's direction, the State Department will have an American first policy against foreign places. Yipes. Shortly after sworn in, President Trump gained the first member of cabinet, Marco Rubio, who will be the head of the State Department. At a Senate hearing, the former Florida senator promised to give career department officials a louder voice in the agency's direction and greater access to his office. The firing suggests Trump's feelings are at odds with those sentiments. He still has final say, no matter what Rubio thinks. I got to really say, Rubio's not high on my list of approved people, but considering the other side of the aisle, I'll take him with a grain of salt. Yeah. Let's see. Scrolly. Yeah. So, like I say, he's not my favorite politician, but he'll do okay in the post. So he was unanimously confirmed as Secretary of State, becoming Trump's first cabinet official. Coming also from Truth Press. It's confirmed unanimously by the Senate to be the next Secretary of State, making him the first of President Trump's cabinet to receive the congressional approval. However, notice Hegseth. They are really, really digging in their heels going, yeah, well, we'll give him a vote sometime. And that's how they're holding him up. They're not allowing a vote to take place. Even if he has the numbers that are going to look good enough for him to go further on and do the job that he needs to do and running the Department of Defense, they're digging in their heels and they're not giving him a vote. This one is going to be very, very interesting. So I think their buttocks are still going to pay. Then you need to be charged and sentenced to make you need to be charged and sentenced to be you able to be pardoned because they were never pardoned in the first place. So a legal expert gives Fauci, Cheney bad news after Biden's last minute pardons. Let me see who actually said this one here. This is coming out of Truth Press again. Let's see. Last minute pardons by President Joe Biden meant to thwart reprisals by President-elect Donald Trump. It's not all good news for the fortunate sons and daughters of his administration. So Liz Cheney and Dr. Andy Fauci are among the limited list of presidential pardon recipients. Gesture aids that Biden says was meant to blunt any act of vengeance by Trump or members of the incoming administration. However, legal observers quickly noted that the distinguishing designations would not prevent either Trump foe from either having to answer questions under oath. So, if they wish, the U.S. House or Senate Republicans may subpoena Cheney, Fauci, Hunter Biden, or anyone else they believe could shed light on potential transgressions by the Biden-Harris administration. It's uncertain if GOP lawmakers will plan to continue their investigations into the Biden family and its business dealings, but if they do, the aforementioned few would likely be included on the congressional witness list, and they would have to show. And if they lied, that would be lying to Congress, which would be a separate charge. Let's see. So, Jesse Banal, a federal litigation attorney, first noted that the Biden pardons will not protect Cheney or Fauci if they lie under oath. Put another way, the pardons represent great news for those looking to see both individuals prosecuted. Quote, the pardons are actually great news. No one who who was just pardoned, will be able to refuse to testify in a civil, criminal, or congressional proceeding based upon the Fifth Amendment, Pinnell wrote on X. And let's just be realistic. All of these disgusting individuals probably would have to be charged in Washington, D.C., which doesn't convict partisan leftists. What if they're charged somewhere else? Protections under the Constitution's Fifth Amendment afford individuals the right against self-incrimination, but the blanket amnesty offered by the presidential pardon negates that need. So, if Representative Jim Jordan, Republican from Ohio, or James Comer, Republican from Kentucky, chose to use their committee powers to question Cheney about the J6 committee, for example, she would ostensibly be compelled to answer honestly about whether, for example, she suppressed evidence exonerating Trump or pressured witnesses to change their testimony. So, while she couldn't be charged for doing these things, she could be made to look like the total piece of sound guy. How would we say this correctly? She'd be just a total pile of no, it's more than that. Yeah. So that nasty so that nasty splat could be found to be making public statements saying why Trump was quote unquote not guilty of the things that they asserted upon him, as they were trying to diminish his character and make him look bad and do all these things to shut him up and keep him from running. And oh, my stars and garters, they tried everything but the kitchen sink, throwing everything. Sound guy. They were throwing everything. Sound guy. Okay, they were throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him. I don't think they were using the Star Wars laser, okay? Oh, you're cleaning it up. Okay. Okay, that's yeah, good thinking. Right. Anyway, get back into the article. Dr. Fauci, meanwhile, could be forced to speak candidly about whether he sought to undermine any of the President-elect Trump's directives during the pandemic. During the summer of 2020, the coronavirus expert began to rebuke some of Trump's statements about the pandemic at one point, saying his public comments were, quote, not helpful to the cause of flattening the curve. So these guys might actually be compelled because, okay, now they can't be charged. They might actually be compelled to give public statements exonerating Trump, making Trump look better, and of course, making themselves look more like, yeah, exactly, like Patriot favorites. Says in the room could potentially make them look more than a little bit like, well, sound guy, you know where to go with this one, right? Yeah, you know where to go. Make them look like, right, and not like I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me. No, they're not Mr. Meeseeks, okay? I'm Mr. Mr. Monkey, Mr. Meeseek Monkey. Okay, anyway, I don't know where you're going with that one there, sound guy. Mr. Meeseeks. Mr. Me Electric Shock. Okay, sure, whatever. Scrolly. So Trump will be issuing a full pardon. And I'm jumping again to another story here. Coming again from Truth Press. Trump will be issuing a full pardon to nearly all the J6 defendants and can be released from prison tonight. Now, if we were doing this correctly, he wouldn't just be releasing them with a pardon. He would have full exoneration on their records. They would have full payment of all their time and suffering. And these people would get basically the government to go, we're so sorry. We didn't mean to do this to you. We're going to bend over backwards now, grab our ankles and spell run. They need to get full cash equivalent payback for all the time, effort, emotional, whatever. And that's the thing too, is these people should get on the government's dime, PTSD counseling because of all the crap they've been put through, stuck in a box, made to suffer because of the wrath of the Democrat Party. They need to fix this right. Scrolly. Like I said, basically, the whole thing about whether it's now going on about like whether the Obamas are getting divorced. Jeez. So I got to say, basically, Big Mike may still be giving Hussein the sausage, even though they don't act like it. But who actually gives two craps about these people anyway? So, former First Lady Michelle Big Mike, Michelle Obama shared a statement honoring Dr. Martin Luther King, while her husband, former President Barack Hussein Obama, attended Donald Trump's inauguration alone, amid rumors they may be getting a divorce. Their kids are old enough. He's not president anymore. They're now pretty much just like political somebodies in only some areas. Really, who cares what the Obamas do? Really, nobody gives a how do I say this? Nobody gives a monkey feces. I don't know, sound guy. I think it might take something better than that, okay? We're talking about simply nobody cares about monkey or their stuff, okay? He always has to throw that second one in there. So the 44th president of the United States donned a black suit, striped ties. He smiled and waved at the reporters. He walked into the Capitol. Of course, they were just like, oh, it's Obama. Ah! They were losing their stuff yet again because, well, he was the black guy. That's literally the only thing he really can claim that he's pretty much been. He's the first black president of these United States. Did he really do anything all that great? Well, he screwed up the healthcare system. Basically, really started us on this stupid path of green technology. He's never been like high in my list of effective presidents. He entered the rotunda on his own, where Trump's inauguration was moved into the bitterly cold weather and snow flurries, and sat next to former President George W. Bush and the wife Laura. Now, I got to tell you, those two guys whispering, love notes to each other. I really, truly don't care about what the voice read was, and I really, truly don't care what the lip read was. Those two basically playing kissy face with each other. Don't care. Bush is not my favorite president. Neither is Obama. I think both those guys truly have done completely disreputable things to our completely unabridged and do not screw with them liberties and freedoms under the Constitution and the Almighty. Obama did not attend the pre-inaugurational prayer service at St. John's Episcopal and was not set to attend Trump's inauguration luncheon. Who cares? Meanwhile, Michelle shared an Instagram post honoring MLK on the holiday marking his birthday without acknowledging Inauguration Day. Well, why would she? Why would she? I mean, every time you've ever seen her do anything, she's flipping petty, okay? It's just, there's no great class with Michelle Obama. Pedro Fierros just say somebody needs to get a water bottle sample from Michael. Yeah, let's just test the chromosomal makeup on this being. Yeah, the chromosomal makeup. So basically, good quotes her little thing that she said on whatever. Then it goes dips back and it's like this whole fluff piece about all these other things. The couple has spoken candidly about their marital struggles, with Michelle previously describing the quote-unquote resentment she had over having to put her career on hold to be a mother while Barack continued to flourish. Yuck. And of course, the whole kissy face thing he had to do by sucking up to her, and he's just he's whipped. I mean, that's about the only way I could say it. He is whipped. Now, whether he's I got this one, sound guy. Now, whether he is whipped, or if he is
Dickhead.
whipped, I think he might just be
Dickhead.
Yeah, I think yes. Yeah, I think when those two get alone, it is
Yippee-ki-yay, mother...
as long as somebody doesn't go too crazy on the sausage. Okay. No, leave the sausage alone. Sound guy.
Dickhead, 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 dickhead.
I don't even know where he's going with that one, okay? Do you always have to put in the last thing? You always have to put in the last chomp. No, you don't get a ding for the last chomp. Stop that. Yeah, it's getting dangerous here, okay? Yeah, you're definitely approaching, the no zone, okay? So don't go to the no zone, right? No. Oh.
Oh no, that's not true.
Okay. I see what he did there. I'm not going to acknowledge it, okay? Let's just say it has something to do with sausage and it's
Oh no, that's not true.
it's not tuna. Oh, it's not tuna. Wow. There's a video, and I cannot do this justice. This is absolutely unbelievably hilarious. But anyway, Jeff Bezos was there with his fiance, and she was wearing this like blazer jacket that was open, and everybody's like, she's wearing a lace bra that was showing in public. Well, the video is such as that Jeff Zuckerberg was standing to her right, and he's just like looking down and going, ow, yeah, I see the valley below. Yeah, he was checking out the Hooters. Indeed, he was. Keep him out of the Harris file. Oh, yeah. Well, is Harris even notable anymore? It's kind of pretty much easy to say that. Well, Harris is pretty much a done duck. Bourbon and coffee, much recommended. Yep. 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 That is recommended procedure. Hang on a second here. Having a second here where I'm trying to reboot the brain cells on something. I'm just having a brain fart. I'm trying to remember this one brand. And it's literally like one of these things where you're trying to think of something and it's just gone. Oh, Jameson, that's what it is. I usually get when I'm doing a cup of coffee somewhere and I'm in a bar, I'll usually do Jameson. However, this time I'm actually, Mrs. Dude and I tried this stuff and we got really, really like, oh yeah, this is the one that we're gonna have hanging out. So we didn't get the little. We didn't get the bitty bottle. We got the big bottle. Now, usually, I'm going to go into booze here for a couple minutes, but usually, if I'm going to go into any kind of like the hard stuff, which is pretty much my preferred. Hey, Zach, appreciate you coming by, dude. My preferred stuff, I'm usually going to go with the darker liqueurs. If I'm going to go with a mixed drink, I'm going to simply probably go straight to a martini. I mean, that's usually in my wheelhouse. That's what I'm going to go for. But if I'm going to go with just straight bourbon, I'm probably going to do either Jack Daniels. I'm probably going to do Jameson, and I know it's a whiskey versus a bourbon, but similar kind of things. And I'm going to go with the brown stuff. Now, I got basically a situation where I was involved in a hey, drink one of these. So it was one of those drink one of these. And literally it was one of those night and day things where, they say, if you're going to drink, good whiskey, you should open it up with a little bit of water, like opens it up, basically makes the flavors kind of more profound and things that are kind of in the background kind of like pop out more. Literally the night and day difference between doing a shot of Jameson neat hurts. You do a shot of Jameson that's been shaken over ice and then poured out, completely different animal. It's like it takes the rough edges off, opens up the flavors. Try it sometime. I guarantee you'll be very pleasantly surprised if you do a shot of Jameson and then you do a shot of Jameson after it's been shaken over the ice and then poured. Yeah, I think you'll find the difference most apparent. Scrolly. I have talked about the 51 people are gonna get ready to get booted, and oh my stars and garters, it is interesting. So let me just run real quick here through the names that are gonna get the 51 guys that are gonna lose their security clearances. So Bakos, Bosch, Brandmeier, Brennan, Bruce, Buckley, DeCarens, Jay Karen, so I guess that's a married couple, Clapper, Corsell, Davis, Fingar, Gerstle, Hall, Harrington, Hayden, Hepburn, Hestan, Mendez, Kilburn, Colby, Leggett, Leapman, Marks, McLaughlin, Morrill, Mosman, Knocklin, O'Shea, Panetta, oof. Panetta is one of those, Pfeiffer, Polymenoporos, I think it is, Priest, Persili, Rasmussen, Salvo, Shapiro, Cipher, Slick, Strand, Snyder, Tarbell, Terry, Travers, Treverton, Tullius, Vernell, Vickers, Wiley, Wood, Wise, and Zane George. So those people are losing their security clearances, and some of them already have lost their clearance. Mealy, he's done. He's done. His clearance is so far out the door right now. It is blanking ridiculous. They're just not even going to play games with him anymore, and they're going to hang him up to dry. Why? It's kind of deservedly so, because, well, anytime you start playing those games as a military guy and breaching the UCMJ, which as a high-ranking officer. Excuse me 1 second here. Typically, for you to attain general, you really, it's like the classic. You got to know somebody, blow somebody, and show somebody. It's just like it's those three things that usually comes out to be. So, Millie right now, I think he's literally on that razor's edge of getting literally the guillotine just lopping him right the heck off. He's not going to be doing good once they get done with him, mostly because it's going to be sound guy. Okay, he's going to get lopped off. All right, so basically, it's not going to be good. Okay, I don't think they're going to take him out back and execute him. Okay, stop that. So anyway, the sound guy, pick one. All right, but I think when he finally has his do all, be all, end all treatment from doing these things, and the federal government's finally like, dude, tapping out Thor's hammer. You're gonna get it, sucker. Yeah, the screams and bemoanment of the what are you backwards tracking that thing or something? Anyway, I don't know where he was going with that one. Sound guy, stop. Okay, we were supposed to ban that sound effect because it sucks. Okay, that is not even good. Okay, that's a little better. That's a little better. Okay. Okay, that was the MAC-10, right? Right?
How about that? Those 32 slugs came out in a second and a half. You ever see anything like it? You're not going to take it, are you?
Just say it's a loan.
Lon, it's not licensed.
Jack, neither am I.
Yeah, that's from the movie. Stop, sound guy. Stop. Sound guy. Stop. Anyway, where we find ourselves here is it's now going to be a interesting occasion, major shakeup in DC. I mean, there's no other way to say it for what it is. It is going to be a huge turnover from the old way of doing things to clearing house, new people coming in, the major shakeup on all the well-established swamp creatures is going to be profound. I mean, there's no other way to say it because, well, when those guys get tossed, sound guy, stop. I mean, what else could you possibly throw at me right now?
Come on, squeal.
Don't want to come. Do not come.
She's gone from suck to blow.
Do not come.
I have no he's been drinking. No wonder that bottle's low. He's been drinking. Sound guy. Dude, seriously. Oh, that's what happened. He was drinking. Sound guy. You got into the hooch. That's all there is to it. Ugh. Wow. I got nothing else, okay? That's all I got. Ugh. He's been drinking. Oh, and now you put the music. All right. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Tuesday, this wondrous day, first day of the new administration of Donald Trump 2.0. Hopefully some great stuff happens and we get rid of all the swamp creatures and life improves. So I appreciate you guys hanging with me on a Tuesday. You got many other things to do. Let's all celebrate this new administration. Shall we? Yes, we shall. I'll see you guys next week. Good stuff like that there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I've got many other things to do. You hung out with me, and I truly appreciate your kind attentions. I'll break off on this one and have a good day. It's only looking better, man. Good stuff like that there. Catch you guys next week. Good stuff. And eat good, kept ring as always. You know what, you love it. I will see you then. Catch you guys later and have an awesome day. See you guys. Ernest!